Good morning, everyone. This is Brad Matheny. Today's the 27th of June, Friday, almost the end of June. I'm coming to you with this video because I want to just highlight how powerful these gunslinger tools are that I offer to subscribers at Mint.com. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've been doing this a long, long time, and I don't think I've ever seen anything as powerful and as simple as what I've created for subscribers here. So the Mint Gunslinger tools are a suite of tools that I created last year, 2024. And the reality is that I was, I've been working on trying to help people learn how to trade, developing tools to help them. I've got my expert growth website here. Let me drag it over here so you can see it, and it's got all kinds of algos that run. You can see these algos running here. SPY has been in a long trade for 3 days now. It's really pushing up towards that 618 second target. XLK has been in a long trade for 49. Sorry, these aren't weeks. These are 60-minute bars. There it goes, just reset. So these are, wonderful for traders. QQQ's been long since the 24th, hit both targets and is up 2%. I mean, on an intraday basis, guys, that's huge. Now let's take a look at the 5 minutes. 5 minutes are very short-term algos, and these are just the SPY spider sectors. Okay, we're long the SPY, getting into a recent new trade. We're long XLY, about 20 minutes ago, up already a 0.5%. We're long QQQ, just got in about 20 minutes ago. And here we are, XLRE, long, just a little bit, only just a little bit ago, 4 bars ago, 20 minutes ago. New long in XLF, financial sector went long. New long in XLC, and a new long in XLI. Absolutely beautiful, upward trending right now. XLU, utilities, same thing. But these are intraday swing trades for 0 and 1 day options. 2 minutes or even shorter. SPY, been in a trade for 20 minutes. XLRE has been in a trade for a little longer, about 40 minutes. QQQ has been in for about 20 minutes. XLC has been in for about 40 minutes. XLU's brand new trigger. XLB has been in for about 35 minutes. XLY has been in a trade for about 40 minutes, and XLI has been in a trade for about 35 minutes. So these are nice, quick trades, guys. And you're talking about, a full $1 move here. Now, granted, the markets are moving higher, and it's kind of hard to battle this trend right now. But let me tell you guys something. You come back over here, and you take a look at this chart. Let me drag this over. And pretty much anything you throw at this is going to work. Okay? Pretty much anything you throw at it. So let's come over here and, I don't know, what do you want to trade? So let's take a look at NVIDIA. The NVIDIA, let's take a look at the signals. Here's the long trigger, and all I'm looking for is really the break above or below this 1 or -1 level right here, these horizontal lines. This is the pressure exhaustion system, and you can see it stayed above that red lower line all the way through until right here. So this was a short trigger right here. What you look for is it to get below -1 and to be red up here on the CCI LR trigger. That gives us a short trigger. I'll come back over here. I'll highlight it right there. And what it's telling us now is that this is in a bearish trigger. You look at the Donchian cycles, the pressure Donchian cycles, still green. That means this is a pullback in an uptrend. And I'll put a little red marker here. And now let's look for the next trigger. So we come back over here, and kind of hard to see. I'll drag it over here so you can see it. But we roll back to green right over here. Let me take a look at the data, the actual output, see exactly where it happens. Right there. So we go long again right here. And again, two simple little indicators ripping this chart apart. Literally just tearing it apart like a pro. So we go long right, come on, right there. Okay? And then you see here we stayed long all the way up. We rolled into a pullback on this. Oop, no, no, no. We rolled into a pullback right back here again on this low. This happens. Again, you can see, you know, this is 5 minute, but then we roll right back into bullish trending. Come here. Right back into bullish trending right there. Where's my arrow? Oh, I guess I didn't grab it. So I'll grab my arrow right here and drag it over here. So now you remember now, guys, this is a 5 minute chart. So we just started, this is Wednesday. This is coming into Thursday now. Let's take a look at the data. We go back bearish trending right here. And then we roll back into bullish trending right here. And then we roll into bearish trending right here. Right there. Clean, super clean trigger. And then as we're rolling back over here, we roll back into bullish trending right here. Okay, so we go bullish right on the open today, and we're bullish all day. Now, NVIDIA is up $3.69. Okay, look at these triggers and try to tell me what you think. Not bad, right? Oops, looks like I moved a line. Not bad, right? Looking pretty good. Traded through a little consolidation here, very short term on a 5 minute basis, but really quite nice, you know. So let's pick another symbol. What I mean, I don't know what you guys trade. Let's pick something like ARKK. Okay, the Innovation Fund. Same 5 minute data. Now remember, works on any interval. So I'll go to 30 minutes. Okay? Works on any interval. So now we come in here. Let's find a long trade. We'll start at this bottom. Right there is our long trade. Well, let me put a red marker over here. And this will be our green for our long. Okay, so now let's go through and just mark the setups. Okay, so Control C, and again, all I'm looking for is above or below the 1% level. So we go long back over here, get a little chopped over here, then we go short again, and again, this is a chop period, so it happens. A good thing to show you how these chop periods roll fairly quickly. And then we go long again, Well, let's just do the longs all over the place first. So we go long again right here. And then we stay long until, and we go back long right here. Get my arrow up. And then we go long again right here. And I got to check this one. Just confirming data. Don't want to give you any false impression. -1. Okay, so then we go long again here. And again, this is 30 minutes. Oops. So this is much longer term, guys. It's really, you need to understand that this is more swing trading than intraday trading, day trading. And then of course we go long again right up here. So now let's get the bearish triggers set up here. So we would go short right there. Oops, go on up. We go short right there. And we would go short right there. And we would go short right here at the low on this little pullback. Now that may be the end of a day. Let's see here. Yeah, that's the end of a day, it looks like. Friday, Monday. Maybe not. That's a Monday. Friday, Monday. It's fairly early in trading. And then we go Tuesday. So let's see. That might have been a holiday. Make sure I'm in the right time zone. So I need to be in New York. And that's 12:30 Monday. So yeah, that's the end of the day. So you would probably ignore that on Monday. And then we go into Tuesday right here, the beginning of the day. So that's aftermarket trading right here. It looks like, because this is 12, 13, 14. It's the end of the day. That's the end of the day. And then we go into Monday here. And then we would go into a, looks like we get into a sell trigger right there. So what I want you to focus on here, guys, is, again, 30 minutes. This is basically, you know, from Friday, May 30th till now, all of June. Okay, and this is 30-minute, can be used as a intraday system, follow it as a trend system. In other words, this is the longer term chart you would be using to try to identify trade triggers. And like I said, let's take a look here at some of these moves. So from here up here to the trade trigger, the full $1 move. And you get chopped around a little bit here. I'll take a look at that. But then we get the trade trigger here, up to here, $3.53. Then we get the short trigger down from here to here. That's a plus 115. Then we get the long trigger from here to here. It's another $2. Now this doesn't count the range in between. Here's a minus 53 cents. We took a little loser there on that rotation. Here's a move up $2.53. Then we get another little loser here. It's on a gap up, minus 244. I don't know anybody that's going to be holding positions overnight on NVIDIA, especially with that type of a gap, but I'm sure there are some that do it. And now we get into this mode over here to here. We lose 14 cents. And then we take another 60-cent loss. And then now we are looking at, as of right now, flat. But again, to me, this looks beautiful other than this rotation. Now, for the heck of it, let's come over here. And so remember, it's not perfect, but boy, I think this is very powerful. So now, come over here, remove, and let's go to daily. Okay, daily has been long since right here. And we have had no short triggers. We went short back right here. And we had another short trigger right here on that bar. And we had another long trigger here. So now let me show you guys something. As we are working through these rotations, right? There's your daily triggers. That's your primary trend system. Okay, now you could use hourly, you could use 2 hour, 3 hour, but you want to have something longer term that tells you what the direction of trend is. Okay, and then that way, when you come back down here to the 10-minute, you know that, you're in an uptrend. So let's come back down here to the hourly. And remember, we have the rolling trend. So let's see where we're at here. We have the breakdown trend here. We have the breakdown signal right there, hourly. And we have the rally trade. Again, this is getting that rotation right in this area. Just like on the 30-minute. It's not going to be as quickly reacting to price as, many of you would like, but I'm just going to try to show you. So you're in an uptrend, right? So you would be trading these bearish pullbacks, with some caution, I would think. You would not be loading the boat and you'd be trying to grab very quick little pullbacks, okay? And I think that's what I'm trying to point out here is you got to be smart about this. This is not an idiot's game. If you want to be an idiot while you're trading and swing for the fences and gamble away, well, you're probably going to get chewed up and spit out along the way. If you're smart about it and you go for quick gains and you try to get out and maybe let a runner play out for you, you're going to do a whole lot better than being a gambler. So I've just highlighted the last couple of days here. This is June 6th until now. That's what, 20 days on an hourly chart. Rally, moving up, beautiful. That's the direction of the daily chart. Look, the daily chart is bullish. Real simple for me to figure it out. I just use the daily chart triggers. There's our trigger. It's above 1. Let me come down here and check. Yep, it's above 1 cleanly, 1.05. There's our bullish trigger. We stayed long all the way through this. So we are, based on the fib modeling system, the pressure system, long all the way up. And because of that, back down here on the 1 hour chart, I want to be taking longs. I don't want to be taking shorts. And if I do take a short, I want to remember that my shorts are, oh, I missed one right here. Are very short little pullbacks. So every single one of these short triggers, I should be looking at, maybe given range here, maybe 30, 40, 50 cents, maybe 20, 25, 30% on my options and call it good and maybe let a runner run with a stop. I do not want to get into a married position and trying to load up into shorts while the market's going higher. And that's why I'm showing you the daily. Now we can come right back down here to 5-minute or 10-minute, and we get similar types of triggers. That trigger aligned perfectly. That's a re-entry. Let me do this, and I'll show you where the major triggers are on this 10-minute. Okay, I didn't get the line, but that's fine. So that didn't count. That did count. So now I'll make this big. These bigger ones are the major triggers, guys. Okay, they're the big dominant trend trigger on this 10-minute chart. And then we'll grab this and this, copy paste, and we will come back over here, dominant trend trigger right here. So I'm trying to show you again is how layering these things work and how you get these dominant trend triggers applying to different intervals. So this is only a 10-minute chart. And this gives you an idea of what's actually going on right now. So let's make this visible to front. And so that is not dominant. That is not dominant. That is not dominant. So we have short, dominant, short, dominant, long, dominant right here on this gap up. And then we have long, dominant, right there. So again, not trying to tell you how to trade, but trying to show you these moves. So very short term counter trend move gave you an opportunity here from this trigger point to catch maybe $1.85, maybe $1.90. But again, you want to try to grab short little trade triggers here, 50, 60, 70 cents, and then try to, let the market play out with a runner. Now let's just call it what it is here. This is a negative, call it 8-cent trade, but you had a chance to get $1.85. Big, and the way I show that to people is like this. Okay, the rotational trigger didn't work out all that well, but your maximum downside potential on this trigger was massive. Okay, here's your long side coming from here, coming up to this trigger. That's your long trigger. And this trigger had a total profit of $1.26. Sorry, that's the long trigger. There we go, that is correct. And then the short trigger here had a move from here to here at the open, lost 61 cents, didn't really perform very well, then lost, and again, this looks like the 10 o'clock in the morning, early market, so that's the end of a day, beginning of a new day, lost 81 cents here on rotation. Again, trading options, you want to keep your losses contained to around 20-30% of the option cost so that you can get out and live to fight another day. Now we have this downtrend here from basically here to here, 45-cent winner. And then we have from here to here, a 97-cent winner, and now we're in this short trend going down. So now you got to understand that these are rotation to rotation triggers. You're not counting this upward potential, which, like I showed you, is $1.74. So you could add $1.50 in this trade. Okay, in this move here, this downtrend, oops, there's my other system running. You could have had a 88-cent profit. That was your maximum downside breadth. In this trade, didn't really have much opportunity. It was a gap up open. On this trade here, this down bar, maybe about a 16 cent profit. Didn't really achieve much. And on this trade here, to the upside, you had a chance of maybe getting $1.89. Okay, so the point again is I see really unlimited opportunity for traders here. You know, you can pick apart a chart and you can trade anywhere you want, anyhow you want. And essentially, this gives you the ultimate freedom to trade anything you want. Granted, it's not perfect. I wish it was. But it's really outstanding for what it does. If you can learn to grab profits, 20, 30, 40% profits on these trade triggers, and then really, catch these moves. Because remember, we can go all the way down here to 2 minute. You can follow these all day long on 2 minute. And now I'll do these a little different, but I'll set this up as let me come back over here. So where did we get above one? Right there. Oops. Right there. I'll make it dark green and thicker. So these are the 2 minute triggers. Bullish, 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 bullish. Come back here. We got green again here. Bullish, 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 bullish. We come through here. We roll into another green trigger here. We roll into another green trigger here. We roll into another green trigger here. And again, 2 minutes are going to give you a lot of triggers, guys. So, actually, no, that is red. So that didn't happen. Let me check because that was red. This is red. That is green. That is legitimate. That is legitimate. That is legitimate. Okay, so if it's red right here, we don't take the long trigger. Okay, so we come in here. That's our long trigger. We ignore that. We're green right here. 68. Okay, so we're green right there. And we come back over here and we are green right there. So now let's paste and start with the reds. So the red is -1 and red right here. And we are -1 and red right there. We are -1 and red right there. And we are -1 and red right there. We are -1 and red right there. And we are -1 and red right there. Now we also get that roll over here. Still red right there. We go green right there. And then we also get this red trigger here. And of course we get the green trigger here. So I'm sorry to go through this with you like this, but and that green trigger aligns with one of the longer term triggers. So now take a look at this. This is short term trading. This is 2 minute trading. Okay, now remember, long term, you can come back over to the 10 minute and see what's going on, look for the triggers. But long term here, you had back here on this 10 minute chart and go to the end here, you were long throughout all of this up until we got to this bearish trigger right over here. So at this point, here, let me draw it for you. At this point, we should be looking for bearish trades. And from this point here up to here, we should be looking for bullish trades. Okay? That's what the 10 minutes telling us. 10 minutes going long, 10 minutes going short. I'll come back down here to 2 minute and look at these trades. So you get your long trade here, comes up. Get your long trade here, get your long trade here, your long trade here, your long trade here, a little bit of a long trade here. Don't trade the shorts. Now right over here, we go short. We get out of our longs, we start looking for shorts. We got a nice short here, and we're good. Good to go. You see how this is working, guys? Granted, I'm not telling you it's perfect. I'm not telling you, that this is going to make you $17 million. What I'm telling you is that, you can pick 2 or 3 symbols that you like to trade, the SPY, QQQ, whatever. You can shoot for 20, 30, 40% every 20 days, like I tell you on my website. So right over here, I've got this little challenge I've been working with everyone on called the Expert Growth $1,000 Challenge. You trade only 1/3 of your account at all times, no more than 1/3 of your account, and you're very cautious. And if you lose more than 1/3 of your account in any day or any week, you have to stop trading. You leave your positions on. You don't force yourself out because you may have some trades that'll play out over 2 or 3 weeks and rebuild your capital a bit, but you manage your trades. But if you take a 1/3 loss or more, you got to stop trading. You got to rethink what you're doing. You got to figure it out. But if you can get 40% every 20 days, you can turn $1,000 into $80,000, $100,000 in about a year. Okay, so now with the calculator, let's do half of that. Let's go with 20%. Okay, so you're going to go up to maybe, let's call it 80, so 40. So you're going to go up about 40 times. 1,000 times 40 would mean you'd be at about $42,000 if you can maintain a 20% gain every 20 days. That's 3 weeks. Every 3 weeks, you're just trying to make 20%. If you can do that, you'd be right here, 40 grand after a year. 10 grand into 40 grand. Then you do that a second year. You're at 1.6 million. Now, how would you do that? You would have to become a bit more of a heavy player. So let's assume you can't do 40. You go 40 grand, and let's assume you can do only 20, 25. You're up to 800 grand. Okay, that means that you're trading smaller amounts, not trying to get the 20%, only trying to get the 10%, and you turn 40 grand into 800 grand, compounding your money. Now, let's say you do the same thing next year, but you do it with a smaller portion of your money, times 12. Now you're at 9.6 million in 3 years. And what I'm trying to teach you guys here is targeted trading, okay? You don't have to be a swinger to make money. You don't have to bet millions of dollars. When you get up into 77, call it 100 grand or more, you should probably be trading relatively small increments, $5,000, $10,000 increments. I tell people in my videos to break your accounts into 10. So what you would do, guys, is you would do this. You would take your capital. Let's just drag this out of the way. You take your trading capital. So say you had 100 grand. Total capital. Break that into 10 slots at 10K each. Now, Each slot has a, call it 25% to 100% allocation. So depending on how you want to trade and how confident you are in the trade, you can trade, anywhere from $2,500 to or less, up to $10,000 for each slot. You would also, well, I forgot one thing here, move or hold at least 10 to 15% or more as cash. Now break the rest into 10 slots. So let's assume let's assume we pulled 15%, and that'd be 85 divided by 10, so that'd be 8,500. And then each slot has 100 to 50 to 100% allocation. So now, if you're only trading 2 or 3 stocks, or options, then you could break your account into really 6 or 9. And that would mean that you would break your account into, roughly somewhere between, call it, I do the math here real quick, about 8K to 12K each. And that gives you the rule for trading. Trade only 1/3 of your total account max at any given time. If you lose more than 1/3 of your account, stop trading and rethink what you are doing wrong. And that's it. That's really it. If you can do this at any number here, I don't care what the number is here, you can start with $1,000. $1,000, save 10 to 15% cash. That puts you at about $85 in each account. Each slot has 25% allocation. If you're only trading 2 or 3 stocks, you break it into so you basically have $85 to $120 allocation for each. Trade only 1/3 of your account at any given time. If you lose more than 1/3 of your account, stop trading and think about what you're doing. So again, you can do it with any amount of money. Okay, it does not matter. You just have to have the real gumption to stick to this rule. If you stick to this rule, I think you'll do fine. Especially, one last thing, book any profits greater than 20 to 25%. Get them. That's how you make money. If you can roll little trades, 20, 25, 30, 35%, and book them regularly, take your profits and do that every, 2, 3 times a week, you will grow your account like I showed you over here. You can turn 1,000, even if you did it real simple, 1,000 times 25. Keep it real simple. Turn 1,000 into 25 grand in your first year. Okay, that's not a whole lot, right? Yeah, okay, but if you can do that consistently without freaking out and still having a job and not really blow up your account, that's good, because guess what? Year 2, you go to 625,000 if you keep doing it. And then year 3, you go to 15 million if you can keep doing it. Does that make sense, guys? Now, granted, you're probably not going to keep doing it and trading, $40,000 worth of options, but you can. You can buy options and actual stocks and do the same thing. So you need to understand that you can diversify your money as you get more and more money to learn how to trade. What you need is, instead of, in my opinion, instead of going around and trying to, find these tools that don't work, you need a system that does work. So you see here how we're moving down. Look at this. We're coming down over here. Not quite there yet, but we're moving down into a retrigger short. So we're close to getting into a retrigger short here. That would be this on the 2 minutes. All we need to do is get down below this -1 level and then have this turn red. And that'll give us a new short trigger. There's a whole lot more that I teach you, but at Mint.com, when you sign up to Expert Growth, which is very inexpensive, you get all of the tools. You get all of my research, access to proprietary trading algos, which are my specialized algos I showed you earlier. You get daily, weekly, intraday setups, Mint rotational modeling system, the Gunslinger tools. That's what I'm showing you right over here. These are the Gunslinger tools. See, we've gone red now. Let me move this out of the way. We've gone red and we're currently below -1. We've got to wait for this bar to finish, but that's our sell trigger right there. Red and -1. If it closes in this area, that's our sell trigger. But back over here, you get the custom index research and content, specialized U.S. modeling, real estate modeling system, more than 50 hours of training videos, access to my Discord channel, and access to my morning SPY and gold cycle patterns, and a lot more. So again, I'm not here to really, scam you. What I'm trying to do is teach you to become a better trader. And in order to do that, you've got to have the right tools, and you got to have someone that's willing to teach you, and you have to put in the time and the energy to make it work. So understand, I'm showing you right now what I think is the most valuable tool I've ever created for traders to take control of their lives. This setup, I'll get rid of this for now. We don't have the trigger yet, but this system, the Mint pressure exhaustion system, you can move this back over. The pressure exhaustion system and the CCI LR are extremely powerful. See how I didn't close below the -1 over here? So we're not quite in a short yet. Okay, that's why you got to wait for it. Not quite in a short yet. Could get close, but we're not there yet. All right, guys, look, I hope this helps. This is, and again, I just want you to think about kind of like what I told you back over here, wherever it is. There it is. So think about this for a minute and really understand that you don't need to trade 20 different things. Okay, you can if you're good enough and you're skilled. You really only need to find like 3 to 5, maybe 3 to 6 symbols you like, and then hone in on those opportunities where you want to take a trade. So, and you're really only looking for, if you can get those 20 to 25% a day, and you're shooting for, goal is 25 to 40% every 20 days. Okay, that's your goal. You can do that consistently, starting with a small amount of capital, work your way up. Again, as you get better and better and learn from your own, failures, you will learn to manage money more efficiently and grow, and I will help you. But like I showed you, you can take a small amount of money, $2,000 times, call it 20 or 25, you turn it into 50 grand the first year. That sounds pretty good, right? 2,500% increase in your money. Yeah, that's great. But now imagine you do the same thing increase it by about 20 times. Now you got $1 million. What are you going to do with $1 billion? Well, you're going to shoot for maybe a 12 or 15% increase next year, diversifying, moving some money into long-term investments as well, and then you're going to be up in the 10, 12 million range. Can you do it? I believe you can. I believe it's just a matter of time and education and experience. And that's really what it comes down to. You know, the power of compounding. Whoops, I want that. The power of compounding is real. If you know how to do it and you know the power of actually getting your money to work for you, it is very real. All right, let's come over and take a look at where we're at. All right, no trigger yet. We're red though, so we're in a kind of a moderate downturn. We just need to see this get below -1. So I'm going to let you go right now. I'll push this video up for everyone to see. But again, I am astonished at these Gunslinger tools. These are, in my opinion, this is what every trader needs. It's not to be hooked to somebody giving you trades. It's not to be hooked to somebody doing whatever. I mean, yeah, I charge a small fee for accessing the Gunslinger tools in TradingView, but it's nothing. You know, it's like, you know, $50 a month. That's nothing. If you're a trader, imagine, like I showed you, calculator's still here. You start with $1,000, you do 25. So you make $25,000. Oops. Following my research. And you pay me $5.99 a year, roughly. Gee, I'm robbing you blind, right? That's just so much money to have you make all of that. All right, so now you take and you times that, times say 20 the second year, and you pay me $5.99 for the second year. Wow, I'm getting rich off of you, right? No, I'm not. I'm giving you the tools for you to take control of your life. All you got to do is spend a little time, follow along, and learn to trade. Follow what we do in Discord. Really, it's pretty simple. I've gone through the entire thing with you here. See? Failed trade. But we're still technically long right here. Okay? What we would be looking for is a move above this +1 as a re-entry trigger. Okay, guys, I've pretty much taken almost 50 minutes of your time, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you watching. And like I said, come over here to mint.com, check out what I do, and consider joining. You know, it's really quite inexpensive. The cost of getting started is $79 or $75 for a 60-day trial, or $169.99 for a 6-month trial. And what I will tell you to do if you're new to trading, go create a paper trading account on Webull and practice doing this. It's very easy to make a few mistakes in the first couple of months, not learning what to do or trying to learn what to do. And that's why I want you to learn, kind of like ride a bike with training wheels till you figure it out. And then once you start to figure it out, you'll be surprised what you can do. It's all up to you guys, okay? I have the tools and everything here ready for you, but you guys have to take control of your future. That's how it boils down. And again, you could literally trade 2 or 3 days a week, part-time, 1, 2, maybe 3 hours a day, and you guys could do this without any problem. You could learn and build an income of more than $100,000 a month within a year or so, and it just depends on how aggressive you are, where you start, and how quickly you pick it up. It's up to you guys. You guys want to learn to trade? I'm trying to help you. Okay, guys, talk to you later.